This video is sponsored by Curio. Curio is an NFT platform running on the Ethereum blockchain. And throughout the month of June, it is running its Motel America collection from the TV show American Gods. So let's go and check it out. So this is actually the second collection from American Gods. American Gods, the original fantasy book from Neil Gaiman, now a TV show for Amazon and Starz. And there are these characters dropping in various prices and scarcity models. And if you collect them all, there is also a bonus NFT that you will get. Of course, this is an NFT platform, so even if some of those have dropped and you haven't got them, we can head over to the exchange and we can start to see what is available there. Some of the other fandoms that Curio has been involved with, we can see Scott Pilgrim, Heavy Metal, Concrete Park, and also we can kind of check by pricing, and we can go and have a look at American Gods and we can kind of see what prices are being attracted by these NFTs. So if you're interested in stuff like American Gods, Scott Pilgrim, those sort of kind of graphic novel IPs, check out Curio. And thanks for the sponsorship. Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So today the marketplace for Blanko's Block Party has gone live in terms of its alpha access. So this means that if you have got an email telling you this is live, you can now go and check it out, and then you have to go through a sign up process. So it's sort of interesting actually that we sort of now have Blanko's Block Party as a game that you can go and sort of play in. We also have Blanko's the kind of shop or the store. That's a web store, browser based. And now we have the marketplace, which is also a web-based kind of interface. And all these are sort of kind of separate entities. You can get the store within the Blanko's game as well as the web interface. I guess over time they will be integrated together. That would sort of make sense, or at least the marketplace and the web, the browser stuff will be integrated together at least, I would think. And I suppose they would all go into the game as well. It is better to have some of the marketplace stuff, I think, in browser rather than having to launch the game. That sort of is good for accessibility. It also makes it easier for people who don't want to play the game and just want to kind of trade or own the NFTs. Also, people who are potentially on non-PC devices, so the game is a PC game at the moment. Anyhow, so this is sort of early stages, but I've been playing around with it for a bit, and it seems fairly functional. I don't mean that in a bad functional way. I mean, it does sort of seem to work, although I'm sure it will be kind of finessed as time goes on. So we can see here, you know, this is the sort of default option where we have all the different sort of assets that are available. So this kind of broadly, you know, does boil down to accessories. So those are things that you can put on your Blankos. So gloves, shoes, masks, hats or horns in this case, wings, bracelets, kind of that sort of stuff. These are NFTs running on the what we now call the Mythic blockchain. It's a version of the EOS blockchain, but it's their own customized version. So these are their own NFTs. And you can equip these. I think pretty much you can equip any of these NFTs, any accessories to any of the Blankos. I don't think there's any limits in terms of the kind of design. I guess a bit more interesting for most people are the Blankos, the characters themselves. And this is the first time where people who have been buying these over the last, whatever it is, kind of 6 months, or have been awarded them in previous times, can now start to see whether these things are, or kind of what they're worth. And this is always, I think, very exciting for blockchain projects. I always say this is when we go into price discovery. So this is the first time we start to see, you know, what people value, which characters in particular they value, you know, how they value them. I guess some of this stuff is sort of shared across NFT projects. So we tend to find that higher serial numbers, in particular serial number 1, is going to be the most valuable in most of these cases, I would think. But we have some sort of, there's some sort of pricing discovery around kind of serial numbers, and also which of these sometimes in some projects that I would say, I call it sort of aesthetic pricing. So some of these will have been sold for the same price, but some of them will be for aesthetic reasons valued more, not because there's more of them or fewer of them, but just because they sort of look cooler. And the other kind of important thing, I guess, for at this particular stage is this is the first time where we can see a lot of the Blankos that were made available in sort of the earliest stages, and are really rare. And so I didn't get involved with Blancos until the open beta. So if we actually look here, we can see there's a few kind of different scenarios here. So we can look at the this is what we're now early access. So there are 2 of these that are the early access Blancos. So these are actually available. You can buy these in the store. Bullseye you can buy for $20, although people are selling that $38. Freddy Yeti you can buy for, I think it's $15. So we can kind of already see people are sort of trying to game the system a little bit by selling these things that are available cheaper, trying to do arbitrage on it. We have we can look at what was the open beta. So these were the ones that sort of I've been around for. It's quite a lot of them, and we can see, I personally think Blancos are sort of, fairly attractive sort of characters, different designers going on here. You can also here you can see some of the different designers who have been designing these. If you're collecting particular things, kind of we could go and collect. Where is he? More Pete Fowler, I guess, is kind of a pretty kind of famous in the UK. So we could go and look at some Pete Fowler ones if you wanted to. What else? So we can look at these when we start to get to the really rare ones now. So if we go to pre-alpha, these are, I don't have any of these. So these are, we can see, it's running on a blockchain. So with all these sort of things, we can see how many were issued. So Billy Six Bones, only 10 of those issued. So incredibly rare. I'm not quite sure why Camo J is being priced quite so highly. 348 of those issued. But I guess at the moment you have to have signed up for the alpha, for the marketplace alpha, in order to be selling these. So in a sense, we're sort of in some cases both sort of supply limited, because I don't know how many people are signed up, and also potentially demand limited as well, because we don't know how many people are coming in and trying to buy these. What is interesting, some of these super cool ones, like this Terry one, 122 of these issued. Someone's trying to sell it for $250,000. Seems a little bit high to me. But I would love a Terry, but not at that price. Peanut FC, so this is a version of Peanut. Often you find with Blancos there are multiple versions. So there's a version of Al Che, the wrestler. This is the Texas version, which is slightly rarer than the other version. So there's some pretty nice ones. I like this actually multi-Blanco. I'm a bit tempted by that one. This is the rarest Blanco. Only one of those, the golden ticket one. Goodness knows what that's ever going to sell for, even if it gets put up for sale. I don't know who owns it. Sometimes with these NFTs, they sort of the wallets get a bit lost, and if people forget their passwords and stuff, they can sort of go missing. But anyway, and then we have the private beta ones, which are slightly less rare. And in fact, I have most of these ones. So we can kind of see the numbers issued. So basically, the Blancos around about kind of 4,000, 5,000 is the maximum issued at the moment. So there we go. We can have a look at obviously there's a few things we can do here. We can have a look at obviously we can have a look at ones that are available. So we can look at start to get some idea of sort of pricing. So most of, particularly if we look at the, I guess if we look at early access and open beta ones, these are ones that you've been able to buy. Most of these, like Altitude, you were buying for like $10. That was the entry level price when you were buying these from a developer. No longer available in the store, so you only get them from the marketplace. You can see these have increased if people are buying them at this level. I'm not quite sure that's liquidity is there at the moment, but selling for $27, so 3 times. Say Bullseye is currently available for $20 in the store, so people are trying to sell that double. We can start to see there's a markup going on here, sort of 3 times to 4 times. Some of these are a bit more expensive. The most expensive were sort of $20 for some of these, and some of the founders ones were sort of bundled up into packs. So if I remember rightly, let's see, have we got one? It might be in the alpha. Yeah, so Boss Dino was, I think, in a bundle that was $150. I think that's right. But you got some accessories and some bucks. Was it $250? I can't remember. I think it's $150. So we can see these ones are much more expensive because you were buying them in expensive packs. So people are trying to sort of regain their value there. Whereas some of these other ones, Fathoms was a $10 one, Finder of Lost Souls $10 one. So there's a fairly substantial markup that's going on with some of these, even some of these not particularly rare ones. But I guess because you're buying them for $10, if someone's paying $30 for that, that's not ridiculous, even though it's a 3 times markup. We'll see over time as more people go into the marketplace, we'll start to see sort of prices stabilise. In some cases, some prices will come down as I guess there are 2,000 either Matlows out there. So that's quite a lot of supply at least. And the thing with Blancos is there are a lot of Blancos out there, and I think they're going to be accelerating their issuance. So I think there's going to be new Blancos every week. So there's going to be just a lot of Blancos coming, and we'll kind of see how sort of demand and supply kind of find their way through that. There's also these ones. I don't think there's many mashups at the moment. So mashups is a way of kind of customizing the color schemes. We could maybe, I don't know how they're going to show this. Yeah, so we can start to see now the different color schemes of these. This one's Freddy Yeti, and this is what he looks like. So you can sort of mash up the colours with different approaches and how you can sort of mash those up. You can see the original one here, sort of white and blue. This one's horrible sort of green. That's disgusting. But yeah, maybe some people like that sort of stuff. And as the game sort of gets more as people get deeper in the game, there are these sort of things where you can kind of grade them up. So all these Blancos start off as being fair. You can basically level them up and then grade them up to excellent. You have different skills, so there is some sort of game utility around these in terms of leveling them up. I don't think that will change the value very much, really, but in some cases it might. Who knows? So the other thing that is the cool thing to look at is not my collection. So if we go here to dashboard, we can kind of start to see what's being bought and sold. So we can see here these are the top trending items. So we can see here actually the most recent trade. Where has it gone? So this is actually me. I was just testing it works. So I bought Watermelon for $42.50. Well, actually, I already own a Watermelon, but I quite like that one. I think it's quite a nice design. So I thought I would pick one of those up to check it all sort of worked. Had a few problems actually. I had to try more than one credit card. Don't quite know why that is, but we can see here. Also, a Bullseye sold for $30, so those are currently available for $20. But someone's bought one for $30. A Seafarer for $30. Some Freddy Yetis. I don't know why they're being bought for more than you can buy them in the store for $15. A Mayo, which is one of the founder ones. That's fairly cheap, $45. Space Ape for $30. So we kind of not at the moment. We're not seeing ridiculous prices being paid. So although people are putting in thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, at the moment I guess we're seeing people sort of kicking the wheels of the marketplace and spending the kind of under $100. This is the ask. This is what people are putting their Blancos in for. Again, we can kind of see. I think because this is an alpha version, and the people who've been selected to go into here are sort of probably oh my word, I can say are probably kind of Blancos sort of fans. I mean, and then this sort of stuff comes in. People asking crazy money. That happens in blockchain. Whatever, people are always asking for stupid money. Maybe they think someone's stupid enough to buy it. I just think it shows they're pretty stupid. Particularly if this was number one, you might put a big number in there because you can't really tell how the price velocity changes for a number one. But for that's not a significant kind of serial number, at least in my opinion. But I have quite strong views about serial numbers. So people seem to be quite sensible. So anyway, we'll see over time how this happens. Personally, I do just really like Blancos. I think they're really cool figures. I think the game itself has enough sort of going on. The user-generated content. I think the new update has improved the situation quite a lot. Although I've had a few problems with the tutorial, and I do think, as we've seen with other sort of NFT collectible projects if you can present them in the correct way, and present good tooling around that, and get enough users in. I guess the prime example is NBA Top Shop, which has been a massive success. I'm not saying that I think Blankos is going to get to that level, because it's obviously not doesn't have the same appeal at being a licensed IP. This is a created IP, but I do think when we start to see some potentially some brands coming in. So at the moment we have sort of these designers coming in who have a certain amount of cachet, but then when we start to see I think some branded stuff coming in, which I believe is going to be happening at some point, we'll start to see a bit more interest. And I think at the moment, let's say Blankos have been sold for kind of $10-20 mainly. I think over time we'll start to see Blanco sold for $100, $200, potentially $1,000. We'll start to see different sort of pricing and retailing going on from the primary sale point of view. And obviously, if people are buying Blankos for $1,000, then you're going to start to see multiples of that. It's going to take it up to kind of $5,000-$10,000 potentially. So we'll see what happens. It's all very interesting, and hopefully you will subscribe to the channel. So Blockchain Gaming World, we spend our time looking at this sort of stuff, particularly interested in Blankos, but many other projects as well. So hopefully you will find these videos useful. Please subscribe if you do. But thanks for watching this one, and see you again soon.